welcome back to our channel. So today we're going to be building a mobile chicken coop. It's our first major project on the property until we get started on the house. We just want some chickens out here to get some eggs and stuff like that. It's going to be 10 foot long, 8 foot wide. Throughout the whole process I'll be explaining what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, so hopefully you guys learn something and maybe you guys can do it in the future. What I did there is I just screwed in the frame, the bottom places. The next thing I'm going to start on is the vertical supports, mainly for the roof. I'm going to have it sloped, so the front supports are going to be about 6.5 feet long, and the back supports here in the rear are probably going to be about 6 foot. That way it slopes down, I can have a roof if it rains, snows, or anything like that. Now that I got my vertical supports cut, I'm going to go ahead and put them inside the frame. I'm going to space them out about 42 inches apart. And then once I get those up, I'll go ahead and start putting the floor, the coop floor in, so the chickens can go in there and lay their eggs and stuff like that and stay in there when it gets cold or at night. Now that we got those up, like I said, I'll start framing in the floor and then adding more supports as we go up to tighten it all up. But now I'm going to start on the floor, connecting these vertical supports together and get that started. Okay, so now that we got it framed in with her help, now I'm going to do the floor joists. I'm going to do those 24 inches on center, so when I go and cut my pieces, whatever that measures out to be, I know exactly where they need to go and go ahead and screw them in. So now that we got the floor joist in, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the horizontal supports across the vertical supports, just so what that is for, so when I go and put the plywood up for the outside, I have something to support it to. Also, the back side of this coop, I'm going to have it hinged so I can reach in from the back side to their nest without going through the actual pin. So that's what we'll do now. I'm going to go ahead and measure it and then get it all cut. And then she's going to come out here and help me hold it all up and screw it all into place. the reason why I'm not giving you exact measurements of what I'm doing with the horizontal supports is it's really up to you where you want your supports at for when you put your plywood on there, and how big you want your door to be, or how big you want the hinge access in the rear to be. That's all up to you. Right now, the 3 horizontal supports on the back are 16 inches apart. The 2 on the front that I'm going to put are about 28 inches apart. But like I said, it's all up to you how big a piece of plywood you want on there, or if you want to cut it in half and have some hinged and some not. It really all depends on you. Same thing with the floor joist. If you want to make it more sturdy, you can do 12 inches on center everywhere down, or do 16 inches on center, or 24, 18, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. This is just the way I'm doing it. Like I said, you can do it anywhere.
Right?
Okay, so this bottom part goes a little bit more inside. All right, so next, I'm gonna frame in the run part of the mobile chicken coop. This is gonna be roughly 6 foot high, just the framing, and I'll have 2 posts over here, 2 posts right here, 1 in the middle, maybe 2 in the middle. We'll see. So that's the next step I'm gonna do. After I get done framing it in, I'll probably start on the floor next. So the subfloor, and then the floor for the nesting, and then I'll put a 2x4 in front of where they're gonna nest, just so they can roost right there too. So to get the floor in, what I did was I cut the sheet in half. I could have used a full sheet, but figured just cutting it in half, splitting it down the middle of one of the floor joists would be easier to handle. I also cut the corners. I notched the corners so it would go around the framing. Not the best looking, but now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and do the floor for where they're gonna nest up in. So I'll do the floor for that, and once I get that in, I'll start putting up dividers to separate it a little bit, probably 4 or 5 little slots, and then from there I'll go ahead and do the roosting stick, and then after that I'll go ahead and wire the thing in before I put all the roof and the framing on. So now that I got the dividers in there. I'm actually gonna put a slanted roof over the dividers. I don't want them roosting over those nesting spots, so I'm gonna put a divider so they can't get up, or a slanted roof, so they can't really get up there. And then from there, I'll put a roosting stick in front of it so they can get up on top of that. Alright, so now that I got the back on and hinge into place where I can lift it to reach into the nest to get the eggs and other stuff and clean the cages, I'm gonna start on the front. It's gonna be the same thing. The top piece is gonna be screwed in. The bottom piece is gonna be on hinges so I can lift that up. And then I'm also gonna make a little cutout cubby hole type thing to lift that up too, so the chicken can go in and out down the ramp. Alright, now that we got the front pieces on, the cubby hole with all the hinges on it, now we're gonna go ahead and just put the plywood on for the roof, start doing the roof. I don't have the metal, because I'm gonna do a metal roof, but I don't have that, so I have to finish that tomorrow. And then after we do the roof, we'll go ahead and finish putting the fence all the way around, and then build the door, which I also have to pick up more hinges for the door, but we'll be doing the door as well. Alright, so we just made the ramp. The reason why I put that horizontal board under there is so the ramp stays off the ground while we're moving it, so it doesn't drag and snap or something like that. And then now we're gonna go ahead and net this thing in, or not net, but put a fence around it.
So now we're gonna go ahead and frame out the door. We don't have the hinges for it, so we'll have to go get those later today or tomorrow. But we're just gonna get the door set up just so we can go ahead and put everything together tomorrow and just be completely done with it.